Good morning. This is Gail Newcomb with Women's Innovation Group. Today's workshop is on what the health is going on with you with Audrey Sanders, or Audree Lee, better known as Audrey Lee, as our guest speaker. Audrey?
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Gail. I'm honored to share this message to women and just people in general. Question I'm always asked, what is going on with my health? That's something that I get on a regular basis. And so I thought it was apropos to just talk about what the health is going on with you. But what I want you to know is that you have more control over your health than you think. And I'm going to share some things with you that hopefully will be an eye opener. But in doing so, I just want you to know as a health disclaimer, we all know that the Food and Drug Administration don't approve natural information, which is what I'll be sharing today. Now, I'm not trying to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure anything, but I want you to be knowledgeable of the things that you have the power to do right in your very own hands and from your home. But this is what's happening to your health. Something that everybody has on their bucket list, but the problem is not a lot of people know what to do. I want to start in by talking about something that's called seed time and harvest. And I want you to think about a plant as I talk about this. You're the plant. And depending on what you plant inside of your body determines what the harvest will be. Will it be good health? Or will it not be? Will it open the door to a sickness or a disease? That's a question that you might want to ask yourself. So, when we look at seed, time, and harvest, there are actually two ways that we can look at this. There's, I want to say, the world or man's way to do it, where we can, of course, eat what we want, hope that it does what it's supposed to when it gets inside, and the results will be good health. Or we can eat things that we don't care what they are and as they go inside, we believe that they're going to do what they're supposed to do, but unfortunately, the outcome might not be what we want. We believe that there's been a way that we should always done this. In Genesis, we talk about it 129, where the food was told of what we should be eating from the trees, the garden, the fields, and these foods actually communicate to our bodies very, very well. I'm going to prove that to you. So, are you feeding sickness and disease or feeding health and wellness? Now, this is a great deception because some people think we can eat absolutely anything we want and we should be well. Now, I know that we can choose anything we want, but the outcomes don't end up being the same. Did you know that you could be allowing arthritis to enter your body just because of the foods that are on your plate? But I'm going to talk to you and share with you how to take the itis out of arthritis with your diet. Then I want to ask you, are you dating diabetes and you don't even know it? Well, if you are, it could be the sweet kiss of death. A lot of people are struggling in this place. Did you know that you could be dating cancer and not know it too? Well, there's an answer to cancer, and it starts with your diet. So when we look at today's best medical treatments, and I'm focusing on cancer, but talking about all diseases because that's really what they are. In 2025, the United States is projected to see over 2 million new cases of cancer diagnosis, with an estimate of 618,120 deaths from this disease. Now, this translates to about 5,600 new cancers cases each day and about 1,700 cancer deaths per day, whether it's prostate, lung, bronchitis, breast cancers, colorectal cancers, or any cancers that you might know, especially being common to women mostly because we kind of focus in on our health. But lung and bronchitis cancer is on a rise, and it's one of the leading causes of cancer mortality in the US. So I want to just project to you this. If we look at this tree, we want to think about choosing life. To the left, we see a tree that's literally destroyed. But if we look to the right, we see a tree that's flourishing. And I promise you, it's because of the foods that are choose or how it's being fed or the climate and surroundings that they're around. So when you eat, you're feeding sickness or disease, right? You're feeding sickness and disease, or you're restoring your health. I want to say that. And it could look like what I'm looking at. Do your foods look more like what you see on the left? Or do you eat more of the foods on the right? Or do you kind of mix them in? because the best way to have perfect or better health, okay, we can't be perfect, is of course eat more of the foods that bring life to your body. Now I'm going to go through this and talk a little bit about your literal body that you live in and tell you that there are some things we need to pay close attention to. You see, when you eat, you are feeding your cells, and you're either feeding sickness or disease based on what you've eaten. And one of the dentists that I know, he tells us that the mouth is a highway to your health. It's the gateway to the rest of your body. And a healthy mouth is freedom from sickness and disease. And if you've ever dealt with any of these things that you're looking at, from oral cancers, missing teeth, bad breath, frequent headaches, chronic fatigue, um, receding gum line, needing your teeth to be filled, a healthy mouth will allow you to live a longer life once you know what to do with it. Your mouth isn't just an open door of beautiful teeth that people look at, because some people don't take care of their teeth. And it's unfortunate because they don't know that because they haven't, these teeth that you have connect to different organs in your body. They literally do. Take a look. When you're feeding your mouth is telling a story. So when we look at the mouth to the right, this is called the tooth organ meridian chart. This actually shows you the very teeth and what they're connected to. For instance, for the people dealing with diabetes, we're looking at tooth number 2 and 3, which controls the parathyroid or the pancreas and stomach. And when we look to the right of the same in the mouth, teeth number 14 and 15, we're looking at the spleen and the stomach. And I bet you no one's ever told you that if you look at your teeth and if there's an area that your body is having a challenge with, you might want to check with your dentist so he can check through a CAT scan. Or if you have one done at the hospital, you want to bring that, because that is the true way that you can see literally what is going on inside of your mouth. When you eat, you are feeding your gut, and your gut will tell the story. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're having gas, bloating, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea, that that's just the problem. But there's what's called a brain and gut connection. The question is, which one's more important? Is it the gut or is it the brain? I want you to know that since your mouth is a highway, the mouth has to receive the food, allow it to be broken down properly, if that's a possibility, because sometimes people don't chew their foods thoroughly. And then it's got to get down to the stomach, okay, or the gut. And because of that, sometimes because we don't eat properly, we have these what's called sometimes non-gut symptoms: depression, anxiety, insomnia, fatigue, brain fog, memory issues, confusion, and so much more. And so we want to pay close attention to what our stomach says, because the brain will tell us later, or we'll think that the brain is, when it really starts in the microbiome or the gut. So when you're eating foods, you want to make sure that you can eat them so that your gut is being healed over and over and over. And of course, providing the nutrition and nutrients to your cells. When we eat better foods, we can heal our gut. We can be in a better mood. We can have clearer skin. We can balance hormones because they can get out of whack. We can shut down or turn off inflammation or pain in our bodies. We have a lower risk of disease. We have better energy. We have better situations from depression or things that may cause depression. But the bottom line is the gut tells everything. So please pay attention to when you eat your foods. You can heal your gut by what you eat, or you can hurt your gut by what you eat. And as you can see on the picture, eating the wrong foods can lead to a body that we don't want to look at even in the mirror. But when you feed our bodies the proper food, I didn't say when you work out in the gym, I said when you feed your body the proper foods, the body knows exactly what to do with them. Considering that we were right out of the soil, our bodies were created from the soil that our food comes from, it stands to reason that we need to eat more of the foods that our body recognizes. So when you eat, you're actually feeding your skin. And guess what? It tells a story. Have you ever had acne or psoriasis, maybe dry skin or oily skin or eczema? These things come from the diet or the foods that you put in your gut. Now, They may not never tell you that because they make too much money giving you potions and lotions and things of that nature, pills. But if you know that you can eat foods and correct the digestion problem that you're dealing with, you can fix the body's issues. The foods will be able to be absorbed. Your skin will reveal vibrant skin and not skin that has problems. You can balance your hormones in doing so. Women at certain ages, young and old, have many hormonal imbalances. No one's ever told us that it was due to the food that we were eating. But considering that our gut is a brain, we're telling our body a story that we don't want to read. We don't want the results of the story. We want a good ending, and that doesn't always happen. We also need to be mindful of the toxins that we put in our body because they go to the largest organ, which is the skin. And so when you're giving your body anything that you want because you can, that's not always the best choices. That's not always the best thing that we should do. So we want to be careful of the types of cleaning products we use, the plastics that are around us, the beauty products that we use. They need to be non-toxic. And then, of course, let's look at the stresses that we deal with. Certain stresses we don't have control over, but the ones that you do, you don't need to walk the stress out by allowing your body to take you through a situation that wreaks havoc on it. And then last, but really first, is to make sure your diet is not full of processed foods because they contribute to nutritional deficiency, causing inflammation, okay, in the body, any place, whether it's a headache or pain, joint pain, or you name it, or just a leaky gut because the gut is out of balance. So going back to the skin, so when you do eat, we know that your skin is telling the story. When you deal with acne, this is low microbiome. This is a high diet of refined sugars and processed foods. That means junk food, if you don't know what I mean by processed foods that come out of bags, boxes, cans, or jars. And a diet that's high in saturated fat. What do I mean by that? Seed oils or toxic oils. I'll go a little bit further in a little bit, but we got to be careful of those. That's foods that are fried, fruits that are always, when you cook them, slithered or slathered with different types of oils that are very toxic to our body. And then, of course, not drinking enough water. Not saying that you're not drinking any, but you need to drink enough. So we also look at the face. We can see, just like showing you the teeth, there are different spots on the face that can tell a person that specializes in face therapy what's going on in the body, what's happening underneath the skin that you live in. I believe God already, put specialists in different areas so that we can tell how to take care of our bodies. So when you heal your plate, you'll heal your skin. Now, I want to grow old gracefully and take care of myself when I do. I don't want to be all wrinkled up prune because some people end up looking like that. So I do have a recipe here. I'm going to go on a little bit further about how essential oils can assist, but this is just an eyebrow and regrowth of those that are losing theirs. I used to draw mine. I draw mine in now, but I used to pluck them out when I was younger because I didn't know. But now we can, of course, know what we need to do to make sure our skin is vibrant. So when you eat, you're feeding your hair. It tells a story. Do you know how many people tell me about their hair falling out, their hair getting thin? They wonder why they have alopecia. Men are cutting off their hair. Matter of fact, men are now even putting hair on like women do. So this is a gut scalp situation, and there is a connection. Because if the gut isn't getting the proper foods that feed the hair follicles, your hair may be unstable and unhealthy. But here's the thing, just like you ate the wrong foods, you can turn around and eat the correct ones. So when you heal your plate, you'll heal your hair, whether it's dandruff, spots in your hair, having alopecia, having issues where it's too thin, you can have vibrant hair by knowing what to eat. So let's just go into when you eat, you are literally feeding all the organs in your body so that they work properly. And when we look at the body, we look at the brain controls our thoughts, our memory, emotions, our touch, our motor skills, our vision, our breathing, temperature control, hunger, and every process that regulates in our body. Our heart, we need it to be healthy because it moves the blood throughout our body, and blood brings oxygen to the very cells that we were made from. When we eat, we are feeding our liver. It's the filtering, organ. And we want to make sure the liver is healthy because it's not because we're drinking. It's sometimes because we're eating the wrong food. So we want to make sure the foods that we're eating, they are able to be processed, producing bile for digestion, storing energy, and detoxifying the harmful substance like it was created to do. This liver plays a critical role in our metabolism, immune system, and our overall health. Now, not that you have to know exactly where your organs are located, but just know that they're there. Your lungs that bring oxygen into our bodies, called inspiration or inhalation, and they send carbon dioxide out, called expiration and exhalation. So we want to make sure we're breathing in properly and exhaling properly when we do. Your kidneys. Now, because many people are on what I call a sugar diet or a sugar overload diet, we need to make sure that we love on our kidneys a little bit more because they remove waste products from our blood and produces urine. What about your stomach? The gut? Yes, so, so important. It creates digestive juices, it breaks down food, it holds foods until it's ready to be emptied into your small intestines. See, these organs are really, really important. For you to know how they work is even more important. Your bladder is a part of the urinary system and it stores and releases your urine. And then your colon. They say that life and death begins and ends in the colon, and they may have a point there. Because the bladder is a part of the urinary system, which includes the kidneys, the urethra. This part of the digestive system is important because the colon must release every single day once we eat, and that's the process that it goes through when we're sleeping. So when you eat, you're feeding all of your systems, the circulatory, the nervous, respiratory, digestive, skeletal, and muscular. You are not just feeding your taste buds, you are feeding an amazing machine, better than any machine that I've ever seen created. Our bodies are intricate and we must know how to take care of them. So if these issues come from wrong eating, you want to take a look at your plate. Digestive issues, headaches, pain and inflammation, immune system issues, colds, flus, and things of that nature. Stress, anxiety, or anything that has to do with your brain not functioning. Could be brain fog, lack of energy and stamina, sleep problems, and then, of course, blood sugar regulation. These all come from proper diet or improper diet. So, what's really making you sick? Nutrition deficiencies, inflammation because of it, and then an overload of toxins that you may not know you're contributing to. So, when this is happening, this is what's happening. You see, there's two pathways to our bodies functioning well. And the first one, I want you to look at a car and liken your body to the car that you drive. This car that you live in is the body you drive physically, but you have a mechanical car that you may drive too. But it can't go anywhere if it doesn't have the proper fuel. And certain cars will tell you in the manual what kind of fuel is required, just like our bodies, but a lot of people don't listen. There are certain foods that will make our bodies function well all the time and every day if we have those foods inside of us. So when your plate is straight, your body is too. But there are some times that you may need to take supplementation. And usually it should be temporary. It shouldn't be an ongoing or, like I say, forever and amen. We got to know and listen to our body so it can tell us the true deal. The second pathway would be like the key that turns the car on. Without gas and a key, your car can't go anywhere. And believe it or not, we're driving our own bodies, cars that we're living in, and it's not functioning properly. You see, the food is not right, and so we're going on low octane or the wrong types of fuel. And then when it comes to medications, our cabinets are full of medications that are destroying our health. But when we're using herbs or essential oils, which are herbs in a liquefied form, we find that our bodies can function and run better. So I'm going to show you how to marry that together so you understand. Now, we'll talk about some of the foods that you may choose as your food. If I do, not saying that I have to apologize for it, just straighten what you can, fix what you can. As I say, edit your lifestyle so you can have a better life. You see, when we're talking about functional or foundational wellness, it's the key to a well working body. When our organs are fed properly, it causes our body to function properly. So when you have a need for vitamins, minerals, nutrition, probiotics, enzymes, all the things that causes our bodies to work well, you want to look at this ladder to the right. At the bottom, we have nutrition and digestion. Why is it at the bottom and why is it the biggest? Because we need it the most. We need to make sure our nutrition is right and that when we eat it, it's digesting or moving through our system. When that's happening properly, our metabolism is going to work better and we'll feel like moving or having a little bit of exercise every day. Then we're going to sleep better. And sleep is a part of our body's operating well, right? Because it anti-ages us, it keeps us to be stress-free, so we can manage our stress when that happens, and we can go to bed and go to sleep instead of just being in the bed and laying there. Then reducing the toxic load. That's a teaching all on its own, which is something that everybody needs to know. But if you can remove some of the plastics, watch out for the chemicals that you clean with, be careful of the toxins around you. Even the air can be toxic. These are things we just want to be careful about. And then get informed like you're doing today. And I want to congratulate you and applaud you for being here. Informed self-care is very important. Who else is going to take care of you other than yourself? And we all know that medical care is available to us in the event that we need them. There are some things that we definitely have to have them here for, but pay attention and listen to your body, but more importantly, know how it works. So you see, most health problems begin right in the kitchen. You know, whether we're at a barbecue, we're in the season, we're going to have lots of barbecues. Be careful of what you're feeding your cells. Did you know that we were created from the same place that our food was? So when you eat, you're eating to always cleanse, build, and restore your body. Just remember that. So you want to start changing the foods that you choose if you are not working, your body's not working to optimal level that you want it to work, that you feel good in. Number one, are your sugar shortcomings due to sweet treats and desserts or foods that maybe you shouldn't be eating as often as you do? These should not be the number one thing that you do. Get up every morning having a sugar breakfast, sugar dessert, and sugars for dinner or after dinner or whenever you eat them. Our bodies run on sugar, but the sugar that it runs on is real sugar, come from fruit, the fruit, and nothing but the fruit. Okay. So if you are having shortcomings due to sugar, these are things that are happening. First of all, sugar is addicting. It causes obesity or diobesity. It causes ADD, ADHD, and all of the mind-altering issues that we deal with because it's a neurotoxin. It paralyzes your immune system for 24 hours. So if you're eating it every day, you're shutting down your immune system, which is fighting for you. It's the key to the causes of arthritis, type 2 and 1 diabetes, as well as cancers, because cancer can't grow in a body that's not inundated with sugar. It's a belly fat issue. Okay. It's the indicator that there may be a little bit too much sugar going on the inside. And then sugars in almost every processed food. Matter of fact, it's hit not only is it hidden there, it's hidden in names that we don't always recognize. I didn't go in on sugar, but I could have. But I do want to tell you this. Even if you think you're doing the best, I don't eat sugar. I don't bring it in. That's great. My substitute for sugar is dates. I don't eat white sugars or processed sugars, but I do use dates. But the other thing I want you to be mindful of, you could be doing all the things that you know to do that's good and doing them right. Take a look at your seasonings. On the back of the label, make sure that sugar is not one of the ingredients because when you do that, if you're trying to lose weight and this is a problem, you're going to take all the sugar out and you're going to watch your body shrink literally because you're not, of course, taking in hidden sugars. Start changing the foods that you choose. Number two, dairy. It's scary. It is. It's scary for your health, and there's a danger behind it. You see, your mom, like my mom, is not Elsie the cow. And unfortunately, we've been trained, taught, and I want to say tricked to eat dairy in the levels that we eat it. Now, you wouldn't put mother's milk in a cup of coffee, so neither do you need a cow's milk in your coffee. But dairy is so dangerous for the body that it is an open door to every disease that I just mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. And I know that you may have not ever heard of this, but I'm here to tell you that it is the truth because the way dairy is processed. And if you look at a movie called A Diet for New America, it breaks down every single issue that dairy does due to our body. Not only is it fat that you don't want to eat, nor do you want to wear, these are other reasons why you don't. Now, I'm going to break some of this dairy down a little bit because sometimes when I tell people, okay, let's get back or push back on some of the dairy or just cut it out so we can fix something, some people don't get the memo or the message. But let me prove it because I want you to know because dairy is literally liquid meat. It's literally liquid meat. 3 glasses of milk equals 21 slices of bacon. I'm talking about dairy now, and this is the fat equivalency. 1 pint of ice cream equals 24 slices of bacon. Consuming more calcium doesn't prevent you from getting bone loss, or nor does it build strong bones because calcium literally from food, meaning green food, is actually what the body needs, recognizes, and can use. When we use dairy, our bodies get weaker, less stronger, fragile, and sometimes even breaks. The primary causes of osteoporosis is sedentary work and lifestyle. And this is because a lot of times we can't move, we don't feel like moving, we're too weak. We're not getting the nutrition, so the body is not giving us life back. So even Benjamin Spock, we all know who Dr. Benjamin Spock was, he says, I no longer recommend dairy products to his patients. We have to start changing the foods that we choose. We want to focus on making small, sustainable swaps towards a more balanced diet that's rich in nutritious or more nutritious foods like vegetables, fruits, or can I just say a plant-based diet or more plant-based protein, if you will, whole grains, and of course, plenty of water, which takes me into number 3. Cutting meat out or reducing it from your diet is the best thing you can do, not just for the animals, but also for yourself. Now, I know they call this meat, but is it really meat? Isn't it flesh that they told us, marketed to us as meat? Meat that's mentioned in the Bible, Genesis, is the meat of a fruit. It wasn't the meat from an animal because this is literally the flesh. Like our body is not meat, our body is flesh too. And so is this. That was a game changer for me. I was like, why are we eating this? Because we've been trained and taught to do so. So if you got ice cream, you really got meat. So dump your dairy or your meat and think about what you're really eating. Are you eating milk and cookies or meat and cookies? Some of the top causes of foodborne illnesses are coming from animals, like salmonella. We know where that comes from, right? E. coli and listeria. These all come from animals that we eat. And just by removing some of this, if you're dealing with any health challenge, you can really start and see corrections of any health challenges because you learn the secret behind what's really going on. Here's a bird fact. At the end of the line, the birds are no cleaner than if they were dipped into a toilet. Now, I didn't say this. I'm just reciting it. So I don't want a bird dipped in a toilet. I want to know that my food is clean because I clean it before I eat it. Some things we don't have control on. That's why when you buy animal products in the store, it has a safety label on it. I don't know why our food needs a safety label, but you might want to find out why, right? We spend over $100 per person to shorten lives versus 10 cents per person to prolong our lives. And that's through the foods. I know they tell us that the vegetables cost more, but we don't need to eat as much because the body stays hungry when we eat things that we shouldn't, and we're less hungry when we eat things that we should. Number 4, stop frying the foods that you choose because the more you fry, the sooner people die. This food is not healthy for us. When we do fry our foods, it creates a toxin, aflatoxin. When it gets into the body's cells, it destroys them. It opens the door to inflammation, which causes cancers, diabetes, arthritis, and many, many, many things. That's why I say, can you just cut back a little? And don't just take my word for it. Prove it. Prove it to yourself by getting off of it for 7 days. See what your body says. Your body will tell you. You don't have to go to a doctor. You don't have to listen to me or anybody, but you're going to have to listen to somebody if you don't. When we talk about these fats, seed oils are the most dangerous foods you can consume. These are called trans fats, and they're linked to conditions like arthritis, cancer, dementia, diabetes, and even heart disease. These different fat oils that we put in the skillet to what? Make our food crispy? I don't know about you. I've never tasted an oil that had a taste. When we put it in the skillet, we're basically doing that so we can saute. Use broth or water to saute. It does the same thing, just doesn't bubble up as much, but you're not changing it because you're seasoning the water just like you season the oil or the food that you put in there. There's no need to do that. And I promise you, just like I told you what to do with the sugar situation, read in the back of the labels, start using water instead of oils. See how much food, how much weight you're going to lose off your waist. I've been working with a family member right now. They've already lost in even a week's time 10 pounds. And the last time they did it was 25 in the month. I don't know what you're looking to lose, but I can tell you just start making these small changes and you're going to see your body thank you. So when you're changing to a more plant-based diet, that just means adding more plants in, taking some of the toxic things out. That's really what that means. You're going to see immediate changes. You're going to see constipation cured. You're going to see a dip in cholesterol. And as a bonus, you're going to see weight loss. Yes, losing weight is something we all want. And you should, because as you get older, nobody wants to carry all this excess weight that we don't want. So be in control, get in the front, and do what you need to do. Here are some long-term changes. You're going to see a clearing of your blood vessels, more oxygen in your body, a stronger immune system, less cancer, disease-friendly issues. You're going to have less toxins and hormonal problems, lowering your blood pressure, fewer illnesses if you're one that's sickness prone, stronger bones, and yes, a longer life. You see, you are what you eat because every 35 days your skin replaces itself and your body makes new cells from the food that you eat. I'm going to say that again. Every 35 days your skin replaces itself and your body makes new cells from the food you eat. So what you eat literally becomes you. And I don't know about you, I want to grow stronger as I get older. I want to look vibrant as if I took care of myself. I don't want to look withered and like I'm ready to go because I probably am because I didn't take care of myself. I probably wouldn't be feeling my best. I actually talk to people like that. But we've got to reclaim our health. This is a way that we can do that. These steps I'm giving you is a way that you can do that. That's how you know what the hell is going on with you. Because when you see your body correct itself, you're going to figure out what was going on with you. So your food is key to the foundation of wellness. We want to go from the farm to the table, from the farm to the table. When you want to make sure that your food is food, as I talked about seed time and harvest, we're talking about the planting time. And then we're talking about watering. What do you water yourself when you get up in the morning? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it a toxic chemical laden drink? Or is it water like you do the plants, like you would? You wouldn't get up in the coffee in the morning and give your plant coffee. No, you're going to give it water. And that's what your body needs too to keep you growing, to keep you detoxing, to keep you filtering. And then you want to make sure that when your foods are picked, because they've been fed properly, they're ripe and ready to be received. That's a harvest. And for you, you're ready to give to others. That's a harvest. Because what you have inside of you is there to be given to others. But if it's not right, it can't happen. Happy food creates happy people. So I want you to choose foods that love you back. That's really important. You know what it's like when you are cooking something that smells really good, or you're in the mood to cook and you're like, you can't wait. You feel like you're jamming in the kitchen. I love that. I love to cook. But I love when I cook that the foods I'm creating it from, they all come from living things. Your herbs, your seasoning, these are living things that make our food look, smell, and taste good. So you want to get back in the kitchen and pull those things out. But let's talk about supplementation because the good news is there's a better way for you to even supplement. Taking care of your health isn't It doesn't have to be complicated, but you got to make sure that you have supplements that do work. Now, these happen to be what I use. Make sure you do your research and know what you should be using. I'm going to explain what these are, but you want to make sure that you know what's in the supplements that you're taking. But I want to not only tell you these, but I want to tell you how and why they work. Now, the first thing, because this is a good thing, is that we want to do what I call good, better, and best. This is a foundation, and this is a wellness kit that starts with the basics of vitamin, mineral, greens, plus essential oils. This is inside this box. It's pretty easy. It's pretty tasty. It has a foundation of mango and bromelain, which is in pineapple. That gives it the sweet flavor that most people would probably be looking for because nobody wants to sit there drinking greens because they don't always taste the greatest, do they? But it's also put together through something called liposomal, which is a delivery system. And it is the future of supplements. It's the way these were put together, which makes it your body receive it better than, of course, traditional ones. Now, this liposomal technology, for instance, when you go to the doctor and they say your body is lacking iron or calcium or potassium, you can know by taking this VMG Plus that you're getting 4 times the vitamin C, 5 times the vitamin E, 6 times the iron, 4 times the calcium, and 1.44 times potassium. Now, what the bonus of this technology is that this nutrition or these nutrients remain active in your bloodstream for 8 full hours. You want to make sure that that's working in your body. And what does that mean to you? If you've got this much nutrition flowing through your veins, your blood, here's what you need to know. You're eating less food. Your body's sustained longer. And that's something everybody needs. We don't have to eat every 2 to 3 hours, which the trainers and things teach us. When do you see animals eating every 2 to 4 hours? No, only us. And that's why we're overeating. But let's take it up a notch, okay? Let's make things a little bit better. Let's step up our game by adding some omegas to your routine. Now, what are omegas? When we take an omega, this is a best level omega to take because of the type of fatty acid is being used. This fatty acid comes from the Nordic seas, but the thing that's really important is that it also has wild orange essential oil in it to maximize the absorption. Nobody wants to be burping up fish smell, right? But that helps to enhance the flavor. But the other thing is that nearly all Americans are deficient of omega-3 fatty acids. That's because we eat all the omega-6s, don't even know what the omega-3s are. Your nuts, your seeds, walnuts, the chia seeds, flaxseed. These things are important, but a lot of people are taking those in, but your body needs them. And they're brain food. Your brain needs to work. We don't want any Alzheimer's or any of those kinds of diseases. So we need to combine the two of them. Let's level up again. Okay, now this is the best way to take so you get everything that you need. Now, I talked about your vitamins, your minerals, and your greens. And by the way, did I tell you that there's 90 greens in that packet? You may not eat 90 greens in a week, a month, or some of y'all maybe not a year, but getting them in is really important. There are so many in the back. Your broccoli, your cauliflowers, your kale, all of that is in there. No, it doesn't taste like it before you're asking, but it's all in there. And then the mega EO plus, the E Omega plus, that's of course getting, of course, your brain food in. But we didn't want to leave out the PB Restore because this is your gut food. It's the best combination that you can lay for your body every single day. So when you add the PB Restore, you're actually addressing your gut or your belly issue or your stomach problems or the things that don't settle right when you eat them. And this is where 80% of your immune function takes place and where there's more neurotransmitters than even in your brain. So, gut foundation, as I told you, is foundational to your health. So, you want to make sure you have all of this packaged together. But don't forget to eat the right foods because you don't have to take it as often. But as you supplement it in, make sure everything is working together for your good. So, now let's talk about, as I said, we talked about our food, which I said was the first door to open. But remember that was the oil or the gas getting in there. Now let's talk about turning the key. Now that would be with an essential oil. Now there's many essential oils on the market. I'm aware of that. I used to use some from all the places like Fruitful Yield, Whole Foods, even Target and Walgreens and those places have them. We know they don't specialize in essential oils. But doTERRA does. I work with a company that specializes in the way that they source oils, which I love because they're pure and potent. I've seen amazing things happen from cancers, recoveries, and so much more. But they have no fillers, no synthetic ingredients, and you don't have to dilute them. If you don't want to, you can. But they're from the plants that are grown in the ideal environment that they were originally grown or prepared to grow in. There I have ideal chemistry and consistency, and over 54 tests are done to ensure their purity and potency. And they can be taken topically, aromatically, and even internally. Yes, I know if you buy them at the store, they'll tell you only for topical use, only diffuse, but we want you to take them internally too, because you can. Now, because they're so safe, just so that you know, than any of the markets on any of the other brands on the on the market, you know that you're getting the best, 100% pure. You don't have to worry about getting addicted to them like you do some medications that we take. They're certified pure tested grade that lets you know that they've been tested for their potency and purity. We have a label on the bottle that lets you know that the nutritional facts are there and letting you know they are an ingestible oil. If that's not on that bottle, you cannot ingest it. We have about 95 that you can. And then they're plant-based. And this is really, really important. So their effectiveness. Now, when we think about essential oils, they're the only thing that can penetrate into your blood cells. So, for instance, when COVID was on the scene or when any health challenges are on the scene, we can be sure that they're going to get into the cell, okay? The cell membrane, get to a virus and even a bacterial infection. And because of their composition, essential oils, doTERRAs that I'm talking about, they're able to travel where antibiotics can't. And that's really, really important. So let's talk about a few of them that you can use no matter what your situations might be. If you have an immune system issue or gut, you might want some oregano. Oregano is a natural antibiotic. And if you look at some of the, of course, over-the-counter drugs that most people take, you can use an oregano if you have a bacterial, viral warts, athlete's foot, strep throat, or you're a person that gets the flu every season. This is not oil of oregano. I want to make that clear. This is pure oregano. Oil of oregano is just an oil that has oregano in it. Pure oregano, you will absolutely know the difference. This one is so potent, it will literally burn skin tags off of your body. So know what you're using before you use it. The next one is tea tree. Now, tea tree is a phenomenal oil. Another name up for it is melaleuca. You can look at all the things on the side that you don't want to be taking. But if you have an ear infection, you can take a little bit of tea tree with lavender, rub it around the ear, slip in the bed for about 12 hours, and you won't even remember what you went to bed for. Not to mention stinky armpits, cold sores, cuts, wounds, and even blemishes, or like I mentioned, taking care of your face. Let's look at our On Guard. On Guard is a phenomenal oil for your immune system because it boosts it. Whether you have a sore throat, a cold, a flu, oral health, which is very, very important, as I mentioned, using this every day on your toothbrush is something I do because I want to make sure my mouth has integrity, just like my whole body. And then the king of all the oils would be frankincense. This is a cellular oil for healthy cells. It's a regenerative oil, means regenerates the body, helps with, or you can use it with meditation, scars, wrinkles, and so, so much more. But everybody's home, if they didn't have any oils, should have frankincense. Let's look at the oils for mood and emotional support because a lot of people, with what's going on outside of our four doors, don't we need some help here? My first favorite was Balance. Balance was probably the first blend that came to doTERRA's scene, and I love it because it's great for stress, trauma, just dips in your mood, that kind of stuff, the mood swings, even jet lag. That's an oil that you want to have. And then because of a study that was done with doTERRA, there's a whole what they call adaptive line for people dealing or children with ADD, ADHD, anxieties. I hear children with that, mood issues, mind balancing, and mental fatigue. Adaptives not only smells amazing, I use the topical one right on my skin and set my day, but it also goes in my diffuser when I start the day. Serenity, when I'm shutting down at night, if balance isn't in my diffuser, serenity is because I need to surrender to the serenity. And that helps me because if I want to sleep well, because sometimes I sleep so well, I wake up and don't even remember what day I'm on. But I love that. So those people that are having problems in this issue, serenity does just what it says. whether it's a fussy baby, get on the plane, you have a lot of children on the plane, take that serenity out or your lavender, rub the seats or, as I say, anoint the area and watch what happens. Everybody becomes restful. They have restfulness. They have no sleep irritabilities are all gone. Pain and inflammation. Now, we all know that a lot of this comes from sugar eating. Should I say that one more time? A lot of pain and inflammation comes from sugar eating, shutting down the immune system. Body can't function and do what it's created to do. But thankfully, Deep Blue with copaiba, if you add them together, y'all heard of CBD? Now let's look at CDB. CDB meaning copaiba and Deep Blue. When you take these together, it's like taking CBD oils on steroids. So as you can see, it helps with soothing your muscles, joint pain, arthritis, rheumatoid problems, gout, bruises, swelling, growing pain, broken bones, and so much more, along with copaiba, however you want to pronounce it. It's anti-inflammatory, increases the effectiveness of the other oils, meaning the deep blue and how it works, strengthening your immune system. And it's pretty much called a over-the-counter pain reliever. And as I mentioned before, a CBD replacement. So if that's you and you don't want to be on drugs that cause side effects, this is your go-to. And these are just some household basics so that when you replace your medicine cabinet, which you should have a medicine cabinet makeover, you're going to want your lavender to be there as your antihistamine, working for skin issues, burns and bites, and so much more. There's 101 ways to use your lemon, lavender, and peppermint, 101 per oil. And then your lemon, everybody needs the detox. And your lemon oil helps to detox, okay? As the doctors say, a detox, a lemon a day keeps the doctors away because it does. Because you can clean your body internally and your home externally. Helping with the mood booster, all your lemon or citrus oils are great for mood and boosting your mood and helping to reduce mucus. Peppermint is probably the oil that we share with most people because it is a game changer. When people experience how powerful peppermint is, just one drop is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's a lot of tea drinking that you can't do, but you can get one drop right in a drop of peppermint, but you can get energy, focus. You can help with your fever and hot flashes for women. And then, of course, headaches and any other kind of things that may cause pain. When you take the deep blue line, as I just mentioned, for pain and inflammation, add peppermint on top of it, and you will have a serious boost. So we have this for all your first responders. And then for digestive support, we have Digest Zen, nausea, acid reflux, gas and bloating. Instead of getting Pepto-Bismol, any of those dolls, get you some Digest Zen because Zen does just what it says, creates Zen for you. And then the last one I want to talk about on here is breathe. Anybody dealing with breathing problems in this hot air or in the airs that are outside our doors, you can use breathe for congestion, snoring, asthma, allergy, and so much more. This is not an ingestible one, but I want to make sure I bring that to your attention because you want to put it in the bottom of your shower. If you're taking a bath, you can put it in the water. Be careful of those because if you have sensitive skin, you got to know. But we have training and education, so you can, of course, know exactly what to do. So if I didn't share with you, you're literally a walking miracle. You can restore your intestinal lining in 5 days, your respiratory lining in 11 days, your white blood cells replaced in 15 days. This is with proper eating. Let me fix that too. Your red blood cells are replaced in 120 days. You can get a whole new bloodstream in 6 months, a new cell structure, 11 months, a whole new bone structure in 2 years. I'm talking about from food now. That's all we're talking about, okay? And a brand new body in 7 years. So the power of your life is in your hands, not anybody else's. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do what you can do because you can. So, as Albert Schweitzer says, he's a Nobel Prize winner, each patient carries his own doctor inside of him. So, if you get your plate straight, you can get your health back. Okay? So, remember this true change begins with you. So, what's going on with your health? Remember this, you have more control over your health than you think. Thank you so much. As I tell people, I'm going to let you ask some questions. You can live long and live strong with absolutely nothing wrong when you learn how to eat live. Okay? So I want to see if there are any questions.
So thank you, Audrey, first of all, for coming on our workshop to do this workshop on your health, what the health is going on with you. If anyone has any questions, you can type it in the chat. We're doing this a little different. We want people to type out their questions if they have any, and then we'll have Audrey answer them that way. A little housekeeping. If you missed any part of this workshop, it will be re-airing on our YouTube station, Women's Innovation Group, at Women's Innovation Group. So I did put that link in the chat, but if anyone has any questions, we can answer them right now. There is one question. You talked about issues with your skin and hair. There is a person on here that has a issue with balding. They had dreadlocks or sister locks at one point. They cut them out and their hair is not growing in that space. What can they do to get their hair to grow?
So one of the things would be, of course, make sure that you start eating more plant-based in your diet. That really helps. Plants and meaning fruits and vegetables, they all know how to communicate to your cells. We're all interconnected, but we're connected to the foods that our body recognizes. We're not connected to foods that our bodies don't know what they are because when they've been in packages and you got to read the label, you really don't know what you're eating. But when you can grab an apple and you know that's what it is, your body knows what to do with that. So I want to make sure that you do that first. However, having to supplement other things will come from using an essential oil. That would be an herb. And when I talk about the essential oils, as I mentioned, they are 50 to 70% more potent than a dry herb that we season our food with. So there are some recipes. I actually have one that someone gave me to help with people because I get lots of people talk about alopecia or men that are getting that male baldness and stuff, which I'm going to share that recipe tomorrow on our men's call, but I'll share it if you're there, or I can send it to Gail because I don't have it in front of me. It is a combination of oils that you would use on the scalp, and you use it consistently so that it can re-stimulate the hair follicles. Because when the foods are not communicating to the cells, that means there's some deadness going on. And I was remembering sharing with someone a little bit earlier about how foods have so much energy when they are connected to the vine. There's a special device that you can kind of test the oil food to see if it's ripened, and then it can be picked. But when it is picked from a tree, it starts to diminish. The energy decides to go down, just like you do. Like you get up in the morning, you have your energy, hopefully, and then the energy goes down. That's the same thing that happens to your food. So that's why you want to have, first of all, organic food if possible. If you can, we even have a recipe that you can use for oils that can help cleanse it off because I don't want people making any excuses why they can't eat organic and get better quality food. But that's why I would tell anybody to start with your food first, always food first. Animals are never sick, for the most part, unless somebody makes them sick. But we weren't supposed to be sick either. But because we've been kind of trained to eat a lot of things that we eat, we are literally destroying our own health with our knife and our fork. But that's really helpful. And if you didn't remember the video that I mentioned to watch, it's very, very good to explain why we're in the space that we're in. One is called A Diet for a New America, and he just passed away last week, the man that created it. He was the heir to Baskin Robbins, but he knew that dairy was so dangerous. That's where I got a lot of my training from. And because of that, I share that without reservations to people because I know that if I don't, somebody's gonna harm themselves. A Diet for New American, yes. And you can see it on YouTube. It's a documentary. And the other one is Eating documentary. Now that one came out before I even saw this one on A Diet for New America. If you've ever attended any of my classes that I've taught over the last 30 years, you may have seen some clips from it. But watching it in its totality will change your life. It will change your life. It will make you see life differently and make you want to live in the fullness that you were created to live in because you can. So those are the two. A Diet for New America, which I see Gail is putting in, and the other one's called Eating. documentary. It may be in about the fourth edition, but those two are very, very powerful for you to really get the understanding of what's going on outside of our four walls. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you. Just a little bit more housekeeping. We will make sure those two links to the YouTube videos that Audrey mentioned will be on our YouTube station in case you did not catch it. Are there any other questions why we still have Audrey Lee on this workshop? And as we wait for any other questions, we again want to thank Audrey for her time. We do plan on having Audrey come back later in the year, possibly to do a training with women and men on weight loss and changing your diet. So it'll be a little different than this. It's going to be a private workshop series that we will be posting about and promoting for her. Uh, Audrey, I see there are no other questions. People have said that they really enjoyed your presentation. They asked for your contact information. We have put that in there. So we just want to thank everybody for being a part of the Women's Innovation Group workshop on your health. And we look forward to you coming back and listening to or joining some of the other workshops that we will be having in coming up in the next month. Thank you, Audrey, and
Okay.
goodbye,
Thanks so much.
everyone.